Welcome to the video on disintegration and dissolution. In this video, we are going to see what are the basics for disintegration testing and dissolution testing. Also, we will see the key differences. Many of the times, the professionals are asked regarding the similarities and differences between the terminologies as disintegration and dissolution. So, as per my current understanding, these two terminologies are different. Their considerations are different, their acceptance criteria are different, and they indicate the different aspect of the formulation. So these testings are done using the apparatus known as disintegration apparatus and dissolution apparatus. So you might have seen these two apparatus in the pharmaceutical laboratories and in the organizations. So DT testing is different and dissolution testing is different. So let's start with the comparative information about DT and DISO. So DT is a physical test as there is no chemical testing involved. So it is a physical test, and dissolution testing is a chemical test. Then general criteria for acceptance. Disintegration has a general criteria for acceptance like DT time of 15 minutes, DT time of 30 minutes, and DT time of 1 hour for some of the formulations like sugar coated tablets or some coated tablets like enteric coated tablets in 0.1 normal HCl. So disintegration depends upon the type of formulation. Now dissolution has a specific acceptance criteria, and that is very much specific to the particular product. If the same drug substance is getting manufactured in IR, ER or DR, then the product specific criteria will be applicable. Disintegration is a preliminary for dissolution, and dissolution is preliminary for the drug absorption. So whenever the tablet or capsule is taken by the oral route, that time first the formulation will get disintegrated and then the drug release or drug dissolution will start. Then disintegration is performed for the solid formulations. Solid formulations are tested for the DT time. But in dissolution, solid and liquid formulations both can be tested. Like solid tablet, capsules and oral suspensions can be tested by dissolution. DT time may or may not affect the dissolution, and DT time may not be affected much by the API solubility. So as disintegration is a physical test, it is not much affected by the API solubility. But dissolution is much affected by the factors like API solubility, API BCS class, the excipients, surfactants available in the formulation. So disintegration is a physical test only, while the dissolution is more complex and it is a chemical test. Then disintegration is an in vitro test using DT apparatus. Dissolution is also in vitro test by using the dissolution apparatus. Then in disintegration, tablet capsule breaks down into small particles, granules or fragments and pass through the mesh number 10. Mesh number 10 of the mesh fitted to the tubes of the DT apparatus. So 6 tubes are there as I have shown in the first slide. So that tubes are fitted with the 10 mesh. In dissolution, the drug gets dissolved in the dissolution media. Drug gets solubilized in the dissolution media. Here in DT time is recorded, while in dissolution the percent drug dissolved or drug release is recorded versus time. So as per the formulation type like IR, ER, DR, the dissolution percent dissolved is measured. Then disintegration time is different for formulations like ODTs tablets or sublingual tablets or chewable tablets. Generally, chewable tablets will have more DT if tested. Then disintegration of formulations like the tablets which are to be uh, dispersed in water. So that time disintegration testing will be having the different DT time. Then effervescent tablet are tested for the effervescence time and not for the DT time. While dissolution can be classified as very rapid or it may be a profile. So very rapid dissolution means fast dissolving formulations which can release more than 85% in 15 minutes. It is very rapid. Then rapid means more than 85% release in 30 minutes. And profile means the formulation is not releasing the total API in 30 minutes or 45 minutes. So it is to be tested for a longer time. Also, profiling is done for extended release type of formulations. Then in DT test, it is a in-process test and it is a finished product test also. So in-process test, whenever you are going for initial setting of the capsule filling machine or compression machine, that time DT test is performed. DT test is also performed during the compression run or capsule filling run. While dissolution test is a in-process test for cover tablets or bulk tablets or bulk capsules, and it is mainly a finished product test. The DT is not generally applicable for IVIVC and biowaivers because it is a preliminary type of testing. But dissolution is used for IVIVC, biowaivers for BCS based biowaivers, and lower strength biowaivers for the bioequivalence. So IVIVC is more related to the dissolution. Then in DT, general criteria for DT time is like 15 minutes for core tablets, 30 minutes for coated tablets. But in dissolution, product specific test parameters are there and percent dissolution or Q point criteria is there. Dissolution is given in the monographs. Once the product get official in the pharmacopoeia, then that dissolution testing parameters and criteria is applicable. While for DT, generalized criteria are there based on to the formulation type. And these are not the drug substance specific. Then in DT, water media is a generalized media for formulations, and if the formulation is enteric coated, that time point on normal HCl and buffer media is used. In dissolution, many medias are there, and these medias are finalized based on the dissolution method development and also based on to the monograph. In disintegration testing, generally 6 units are taken and these are added into the 6 tubes of the DT apparatus with or without disc. So if the formulation is floating, that time you can use the disc, otherwise there is no need to use the disc. And if you run the test with 6 units and if 1 or 2 capsules or tablet fail to disintegrate, then repeat the test on 12 additional units and then see what happens. Then if at least 16 out of the total 18 tested units disintegrate completely, then you can say the DT test is passed. Or if less than 16 units are passing the DT time, then the DT test will fail. While in dissolution, based on to the formulation type like IR, ER or DR formulations, the criteria for S1, S2, S3 are applicable or L1, L2, L3 are applicable. So as per the USP chapter, the 6 units are tested in S1 stage for IR formulations. Then if the 6 units stage S1 is failing, then go to S2 stage, and if it is failing, then go to S3 stage. So I have made a different video on this S1, S2, S3 testing. You can visit that video to get more clarity about these stages of the dissolution. In DT, some formulations containing high amount of polymer may not conform to the DT criteria. So that time DT testing is not done. Then also DT testing is not done for some of the ER formulations, sustained release formulation, control release formulation, and prolonged release formulations, because they contain the more polymer and they are not designed for the immediate release. While in dissolution, dissolution is required to be done on all the formulation types. Dissolution failure is always a big concern as it is related directly to the bioavailability, product safety and efficacy. And dissolution is a product specific test which indicate the product performance. So this is the general information about disintegration and dissolution. You may get some other points also, so you can compile those points as well. I hope this is an informative video on disintegration and dissolution. So thank you for watching the video, and I request you to do like, share and subscribe to Pharma Learning in Depth channel. Thank you.